be so many outtakes.
Hi, I'm Patricia from Lone Conservative, and this is Lily, and welcome to my spring break. I'm supposed to be on the Florida-Bama shores at a house on the beach reading, but because of coronavirus, I'm in my childhood purple bedroom, so we're going to pretend like this is where I am. We're going to run through 2 Lone Conservative articles that were published last week. Jack Cowhick wrote about the importance of enforcing stay-at-home orders, which is the reason I'm in my house right now. So the World Health Organization, aka China's political relations arm, declared COVID-19 as a global pandemic. America right now leads the world in the number of confirmed cases. We have a $2 trillion spending bill that was passed, and schools are shutting down across the nation, which is why we're both at home and all college students are pretty much at home. So Jack brings up, is this enforcement constitutional? Stephen Brown, the executive director of the ACLU of Rhode Island, said allowing state police to stop New York drivers was a breach of the Fourth Amendment and cannot be justified in light of its substantial impact on civil liberties. That's his quote. Do civil liberties come before like public health concern? Like, is you going out and like going about your day, getting groceries, going to Starbucks and stuff, is that infringing upon my rights? But is all of that relevant to what's going on right now with COVID-19, like pulling people over who are driving somewhere unnecessarily? Like, is this constitutional? Lily, what do you think?
I definitely think the government has an interest in protecting its citizens beyond just like, I don't know, like it's like they are allowed to intrude on civil liberties to a degree in order to protect like the general welfare of citizens. And like after 9/11, I know like the actual details of the Patriot Act, of course, are like controversial, but the government is allowed to take like actions to if it thinks it's like in the people's best interest. But like it's definitely not like, it's not a binary decision. Like it's not either we like intrude into people's lives like in every single way that the government has been lately, or like nothing at all, like just a free-for-all. Because like I think they started out going in the right direction. They're like just like stay inside. I mean, first they were even just encouraging it, which I do think they have the ability to go like beyond encouraging it, because and I think you can rationalize having people stay inside and working from home within reason under what the government can do. But I mean, in terms of like pulling people over for like driving without papers, I mean, one, you're not spreading the virus if you're in your car by yourself or with your family members that you're living with. My hometown has a curfew of 11 a.m. as if the coronavirus is not contagious between the hours of 11 and 4, which is like how is that even relevant? Mayors and county judges going on power trips, and that's where you're getting actually a lot of the crazier stories that we've heard. Local officials encouraging neighbors and residents to rat each other out for like, oh, like they're having a gathering, they bought something that I didn't think was essential at the grocery store, like that kind of stuff. Like the most ridiculous stories are honestly not coming from steps that governors and the president have taken.
I think President Trump has actually been super great about empowering the states and localities to do what's best for them, because like Wyoming is so much different than New York City. Like Wyoming people are so spread out. They have like, at least as of this morning, they had like no confirmed cases just because people aren't interacting with each other.
Well, also like not every single state, like you just said, like Wyoming doesn't need to be quarantined the same way New York does. Knee-jerk reactions from powerful state and federal governments is how you do get really crazy overreach. So
yeah. Going back to Jack's article, I think he made a good brief introduction to introducing like the issue of this could be a constitutional infringement. Each state has their own constitution and they're empowered to do things. Whatever the people have like gave consent in like the founding of that state's union, that's what they can do.
I think this is actually a really good opportunity to sort of reevaluate. Like a lot of people maybe like don't pay attention to like county judge races or smaller elections, and maybe this is like, okay, like we're gonna pay attention to those. Those people have a lot more like, did we actually want to give this person that kind of power? And I think maybe this could be a good motivator for people to start getting involved in local and state politics. Everyone pays attention to like the big presidential election, but like I think people are really seeing, how the article says, that they're most affected by like what we've been saying for a long time. Like you're most affected by the people who are like over the smallest area. I think people might actually like sort of come around to that and see that like, hey, like presidential elections, like cool and shiny, but they're not the ones that have the most power over me. They're not the ones who can give me a ticket for walking through HEB, for example. That's your county judge, so pay attention to that race.
Or else be arrested for buying nail polish because it's a non-essential item.
This is an article by Jonathan Voos about Liberty University reopening despite everything going on. So it looks like Liberty University is planning for 5,000 students to return to campus, despite the fact that pretty much every other campus, from big state schools like mine to Patricia's school, which is smaller and private, have all been closed and sent people home, even having people move out. So this article says Liberty has already shifted classes online under Virginia Governor Ralph Northam's ban on gatherings of more than 10 people, because 5,000 students is definitely more than that. So they're still going to allow students to access dormitories, have office hours with professors, and access most campus facilities. Dining hall services are still going to be open, but only for takeout, not for, like, I guess, eating in cafeteria. They're definitely operating in an interesting little gray area, because there's some aspects of the university that, like, just because they allow students in dormitories doesn't mean that, like, maybe that cleaning crews can come and cleaning companies, because I'm imagining that, especially private schools, going to contract out a lot of stuff like their food services. And it doesn't look like they're not having them come to lectures, right?
Right. So basically the students are just living in their apartments. I don't think they deserve all the bad press that they're getting if students aren't sharing the same bathroom. Like, I think it's an issue if you have 100 students in one hall and they're all sharing the exact same bathroom and they're all using, like, the same, like, 2 or 3 sinks. Like, that's where an issue for contamination and, like, students giving each other coronavirus happens. But other than that, like, there's not a big difference between students living on campus and students living in their own apartments, because students have paid for this housing. Like, it's their, in my opinion, it's their right as leasers to be there. So if they want to be there, like, the school has, I think all schools have an obligation to, like, let students live in the housing that they've paid for and they've contractually, like, agreed to give them. So I think it's fine that Liberty University is doing that. However, I don't think it's worth all the bad press that they're getting. Like, if I was on their, like, board of advisors or, like, a person that makes decisions at the school, I would have said, like, this is not going to be worth the bad press that we're getting. And if, like, even 2 students get COVID, then we're all, like, going to be run over the coals in the media.
But yeah, and I don't even think the press coverage has been accurate. Like, if you just read any other headline about happening, like, that just says, like, in general, like, Liberty University reopening, like, there's, like, that sounds like they're having, like, regular classes, regular, just, like, everything. Like, they're not taking any precautions at all. And that's not the case. I mean, I think pretty much everyone, if you ask them about Liberty University reopening, they're going to say, oh yeah, it's crazy, they're still having classes. And, like, I mean, if anything, I think it's actually probably going to help some people that maybe can't go home, or it's not safe for them to go home if they're international, or if, I mean, I know a lot of people here at UT even who have told me, like, yeah, I'm coming back to my apartment in Austin because my home is like I have a house, I have internet and everything, but it's just, like, it's not a good environment for me to do school.
I don't see a difference between, like, Liberty letting students come back to their apartment building and, like, any other residential apartment building that's also in Virginia, like, still staying open. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Pretty much every university that I've heard of, like, I think you said even, like, Loris did this as well, sort of made some sort of offer that, like, if there's extenuating circumstances, or like each school is, like, had varying degrees of what they're allowing as extenuating circumstances, but
every school is letting some students stay.
Exactly. And this is sort of like, it's sort of the same thing, because the thing is, there are going to be a lot of Liberty students who don't want to come back, who like being at home, or are, like, maybe their parents don't want them to come back, and they, like, it's not like the entire 5,000 person student body is going to come back, because they don't have to. Honestly, I don't necessarily see how this is any different from what every other school is doing, now that I think about it.
I think the only difference is that people know it's a conservative leaning school and they love to hate on them. So anything they do, people are going to be like, meh.
Process for extenuating circumstances, they just said, if you need to, you can come back here. Like, we're open. Like,
they basically did what any good parent would do. Like, if you have nowhere else to go, come back here. We'll make this as safe as we can possibly make it. That's, like, a heck of a lot kinder than other schools like Tufts, Harvard, Yale, who just said, everybody get out. We don't care about you. Good luck. Have fun for it.